What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Football Talk. And let me apologize, it's been a long time since my last video. I've had a lot more downs and ups, I guess you could say. My computer got that blue screen of death thing, so that was a whole ordeal. And plus, I've been getting, my job's been like one of the only jobs where I've been getting more hours rather than less hours compared to other jobs. So I've been working a lot recently. So finally got my computer fixed and have a day off so I can come back and do these videos for you guys. Now, by looking at the title, I'm sure you can tell what I'm going to be talking about, and that's the Detroit Lions. And the question is, are the Detroit Lions for real? And my answer is yes. If you look at the NFL today, what are the things that you need to be successful? You need a top quarterback, weapons for that quarterback, O-line to protect the quarterback, and a pass rush to get the other quarterback. Let's see what the Lions have. They have Matt Stafford, who is an emerging quarterback and who, in my opinion, can be a top quarterback in the league right now if he stays healthy, and in the future can become an elite quarterback. His weapons, Calvin Johnson, which you need to say no more. Brandon Pettigrew, young tight end, great pass catcher. And also, they got Nate Burleson, he's not great, but the guy's very solid, and he's a great number 2 option. And their O-line, they're young and solid. Like I said, they're young, so they're going to get a lot of time working together, and a couple years down the road, that's going to be a top-notch offensive line. Also, in their D-line, which is also pretty young, and it's so dominant. I mean, you have Ndamukong Suh, Nick Fairley, Kyle Van Der Bosch, and I think the other end is Cliff Averill, who 3 out of those 4 are very young, aside from Van Der Bosch, who can still get the job done. I mean, I've looked at highlights of the Lions defense. Never have I seen the Lions defense go backwards. They're always pushing that O-line back. Whether the O-line is pass blocking or run blocking, that offensive line is moving the other direction. That just shows how dominant they are. They're always getting in the quarterback's face. They may not get the sack, but they'll get the pressure, and it's just so dominant. I mean, another thing with the Lions, if you look at their recent first-round picks, they've hit every single one of them, or have the potential to be something great. I mean, you have Calvin Johnson, Gosser Sherlis, which is the offensive lineman they took a couple years back, Matt Stafford, Brandon Pettigrew, Ndamukong Suh, Javad Best, and most recently Nick Fairley. A lot of these are going to be top superstars if they're not already. I mean, Stafford can be this year, I think. Calvin Johnson's at least, he's at least a top 2 receiver. Worse, he's number 2. Ndamukong Suh, he's probably already one of the best pass rushers in the league. And they're so young and so talented, it's just, it blows your mind. And Detroit, they are for real. I mean, they're 8-0, including the last 4 games of last year. I'm not saying 12-0 with the preseason. Preseason does not count. Alright? So they're 8-0, including the last 4 games from last year. Plus, this year, they had 2 games where they had to make a comeback of 20 or more points. 2 straight comebacks. That's really impressive. Now, they shouldn't make a living off of that. Alright, you shouldn't have to depend on coming back in the 4th quarter. They gotta learn to stay dominant early and often. So, as long as they don't make a habit of coming back late in the 4th quarter, I think they should be fine. I mean, their next 5 games could definitely be easy wins. I mean, they have Chicago. Detroit has a lot more talent. San Francisco. Detroit's just flat out better. Atlanta, who is moving in the wrong direction after a loss at Chicago, a near loss at Philly if Michael Vick didn't get hurt, and they barely escaped Seattle. So Atlanta could be a nice win for Detroit. Then you have Denver, which is an absolute mess. Chicago again. And then you have Carolina, which could be, Detroit could be just too much for Cam Newton to handle, and the offense of Detroit could be too much for Carolina's defense. So those are definitely 5 possible wins for Detroit. Now Detroit's shown they can do something, and they can win. Now going into the season, I thought they were going to prove a lot. I didn't think they were going to make the playoffs though, but the way they've been playing, if they can keep this up, I think Detroit is definitely a lock for a wild card. Winning the division, I think, is a little bit too far, but a wild card, I think, could definitely be a lock, depending on how they do the next few games. I mean, Detroit right now, they're playing like one of the top teams in the league, and with that talent, there's no reason why they shouldn't. Alright guys, that's going to do it for me on this topic. As always, let me know what you think. Leave a comment. I have Twitter now. Go ahead, hit me on Twitter. I really want to see you guys follow me and put some input, not only on YouTube, but anywhere else too. So, thanks for tuning in, and keep on watching.